I'd like to tell a little story about neck pain from the German New Medicine perspective. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the type of conflict shock that leads to neck pain and what biological special program is running, and then I'll explain a little bit about what happened in my case. So when we're talking about a muscular pain or bones, muscles, connective tissue, ligaments, these are all part of a set of tissues that run self-devaluation programs. So self-devaluation meaning I'm not good enough in that area or I'm not good enough in that way. Now, each tissue and part of the body is a specific flavor of self-devaluation. So it really depends on where in the body you're experiencing this pain, and then also what type of tissue. The more surface level of tissue, kind of the less significant it is, and as you go deeper towards the bones, the more significant and deep that self-devaluation becomes. Now, with this self-devaluation conflict, the end biological purpose is to rebuild this tissue stronger. So if I'm not feeling good enough in that specific area in a certain way, then the idea is that the body wants to respond to that by making me stronger in that area after the healing completes. So with this two-phase cycle, when we've had a conflict shock or an acute unexpected event that catches us off guard, that initiates this biological special program, while that conflict is active, we are losing cells in that specific area of the body, in that tissue, related to self-devaluation. And when you think about a remodel, what's the first step? It's demo. So while the conflict is active, our body is doing a little bit of a demo and breaking down some of that tissue so that when we go into the healing process, we're rebuilding the tissue. And then at the end of the healing process, that tissue is now stronger so that we can be stronger in that area where we perceived ourselves to be week before. So in my case, I am talking about muscular neck pain. And what happened for me was I had applied to an opportunity that was selective, that was something I had to apply to. And I realized on a Friday that I had not been selected for this. Too much time had passed. I hadn't gotten the notice. And it came as a little bit of a shock to me. It kind of came in as a realization that I wasn't selected for this opportunity that I had been hoping for. And it did come with a little bit of self-talk, like, well, why didn't they pick me? What didn't I do well to not be selected? With the neck in particular, when we look at this self-devaluation conflict, the flavors that are typically presented with the neck are intellectual self-devaluation. So where wasn't I smart enough? Where didn't I think well enough? Where didn't I work through the problem well enough with my mind? The other flavors that sometimes occur with the neck are injustice. So what's not fair, what's not just, what's not right, or even a moral self-devaluation conflict. So what did I do wrong, or what wrong was done to me? So in my case, this was most likely intellectual self-devaluation of why didn't I get selected for this opportunity? And it wasn't too severe. So over the weekend, I was mulling this over some. I had some recurring thoughts about, well, why didn't I get selected? What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I smart enough for this opportunity? And then Monday morning, I woke up with a really stiff neck. The muscles on the side of my neck were pretty sore. I was like, what did I do? Did I sleep wrong? But I pretty quickly put the pieces together that this had to do with this opportunity that I wanted, that I didn't get, and that I had been feeling somewhat bad about myself for this. So it resolved fairly quickly. Within a day or two, the muscular soreness went away and I connected back to this opportunity that I didn't get. And I had to give myself some grace to think about, okay, it's fine. There's nothing innately wrong with me. This is just something that happened in the course of the process. And so again, the purpose is that after the healing phase is completed, that tissue is rebuilt stronger. so that we're coming out of this more able to function in this area. So this is a quick example of how muscular neck pain can be related to an intellectual self-devaluation conflict, and how coming through that process, even though it's uncomfortable, actually means that my body is responding by helping to rebuild that tissue stronger than it was before.